Great news. 15 minutes could save you 15% on Geico. Car insurance, cheaper there. 15 minutes, all it takes. Geico.com. Football Morning in America, three-time National Sports Writer of the Year. He bounces around to all the camps. Joining us now, Peter King via the Coward Global Satellite Network. So you were at Colts camp on August 4th, and I know you talked to Andrew Luck because on the internet I saw a picture of it. Did you have any inclination, August 4th, Andrew Luck is at least wavering?
No, I said to him flat out, I said, is there any doubt in your mind with this bad calf you have right now, any doubt that 5 weeks from today you'll be taking the field against the Los Angeles Chargers? And he said, no doubt. Those 3 words, exact quote. So to say I was surprised when this announcement was made would be an understatement. I had no idea it was coming.
Obviously, our first takeaway was circumstances made us defend Andrew Luck completely. There was some pushback, and over the last couple of days, there are people, including NFL players, who have said, listen, the timing stinks. Now that we have the time to contextualize it perfectly, and you talked to as many people, Peter, as anybody in this league, have there been at least a few people that said the timing could have been worked out better?
No question about it. I think that's the one thing. I would say more than the timing, Colin, would be why wouldn't he have gone on injured reserve with a designation to return after 8 weeks? The NFL has a rule. Basically, it used to be you go on IR you're out for the year.
Right.
But you now can put 2 players on IR after final cutdown, and you can designate them to return midway through the season.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people feel like, and hey, Chris Ballard, the GM, Frank Reich, the head coach, tried to convince him, please do this. Go on injured reserve and go somewhere, go anywhere. If you don't want to be in the way of Jacoby Brissett, and you don't want to, have people asking you every day, hey, how you doing? Rehab somewhere else. But he didn't want to do that. His whole thing was, I'm never going to have a season again where I'm hurt all the time. And so I think people justifiably can criticize him for not agreeing to go on injured reserve. But by that time, Colin, I think mentally, football to Andrew Luck began to represent pain.
Yeah.
And not joy.
Yeah.
And then I believe it was time for him to go.
Yeah, no, that's a good way to put it. It's interesting. Jadeveon Clowney is out there, and he is potential a trade opportunity for teams. And my theory now that Andrew Luck is out of the division, you cannot justify having 2 expensive pass rushers. If Patrick Mahomes is in your division, or Tom Brady or Breeze, I'll pay for, the Chargers should pay for 2 pass rushers because of Patrick Mahomes. Teams did that with Peyton Manning. Now Deshaun Watson's the best quarterback in that division, Peter. They got to upgrade that offensive line. He was hit 19 times last year against Buffalo alone. I think Clowney is a guy you got to move. Do you believe you should? And what could you get for him? Where would he fit?
I think he would fit on a team that feels like it's one pass rusher away from being a huge factor in the playoffs this year. And when I say one pass rusher away, I think you have to look at teams like the Rams.
Yeah.
If the Rams thought that they could fit him in, look, it's going to be very, very hard for the Rams to fit him in. I think it'd be impossible for the Saints to fit him in. But I think it'd be very hard for the Rams, not only because they're already paying one guy on their front more than any, defensive lineman right now in Aaron Donald. But I also think that you're looking at a team that is probably going to, at some point this year, pay Jared Goff.
Yeah.
They're already paying a running back. They're paying Brandon Cooks. They just gave a big raise to Robert Woods. They have to, after this year, I believe, invest in another tackle.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a lot of people that they need to pay.
Yes.
So it's hard for me to imagine the Rams making space for him, but In terms of football, I think if the Rams could get Clowney, even to get him on a shorter deal, maybe a 3-year deal or a 2-year deal, I think it'd be really smart for them to do it.
You know, analytics have changed sports. The general manager now hands the lineup card to the manager in many instances. In the NBA, analytics have really hurt 7-foot guys, especially back to the basket 7-footers. And in football, analytics are doing Melvin Gordon no favors and running backs. I just this morning wrote down the best running backs in the league, and I got to about 24, Tariq Cohen, and then I was like, okay, now I'm struggling to name them. There's a lot of running backs. They come from everywhere. North Carolina, A&T, and undrafted. I mean, are analytics part of the Zeke issue? Is ego part of it? I mean, why wouldn't they have him wrapped up, in your opinion?
Because the Dallas Cowboys have 3 guys on offense they have to pay, including one of them they got to pay $31 million or whatever the number for Dak Prescott is going to be. They got a receiver they're going to have to pay, pick a number, 17, 18, I don't know. And then, you got to pay your running back. So you ask yourself this question. Even in a friendly cap era, where you're talking about, let's say for the sake of argument, a cap next year that'll be around 190, somewhere around there. Are you going to take 3 offensive players and pay them an average per year? This is like an average per year of $75 million or $70 million.
Yeah.
That is a heavy, heavy ticket.
It is.
And keep in mind, you got a couple of defensive guys on that team who you got to pay too, not just Jalen Smith. So I mean, if you're the Cowboys, you've really got to be careful. Because you got a good team. You have the best team of the Jason Garrett era.
Yep.
But you've also got a potential tinderbox of a team.
Yeah. Finally, I'm just taking predictions before the season. I have Pittsburgh, who's the best team I've seen in preseason. I think they really upgraded their defense from a variety of angles, college, free agents, got a cornerback from Kansas City. I like Pittsburgh to win the division over Cleveland. I think Pittsburgh gets a little bit of a scheduling break this year. I think Cleveland's schedule with the youngest roster and a rookie head coach is brutal in the first 8 weeks. I think they'll be good late. If I ask you today, Steelers, Browns, Ravens, let's just take Cincinnati out of it. Most do. How do you think those 3 stack up in the AFC North?
Steelers win it. I like their depth. I like their peace. I think Cleveland's going to be second. I think Cleveland, the biggest thing for Cleveland right now is that they have a totally new world. Every game for them is going to be really a big event, a big game. National TV, 2 of the first 4 or 5 weeks, prime time, whatever it is. I mean, they have big games early. How's a young team going to handle that? How healthy is Odell going to be? He's not been healthy totally for either of the last 2 years. Can he stay healthy and justify the hype? I think, look, I like Cleveland. I'm probably not going to pick them to make the playoffs. But I like Cleveland. I think they're on the rise. But I think they have to deal with almost a New England level of attention paid to them every week this year in the NFL.
Peter King, Football Morning in America, NBCSports.com. He's got a massive microphone next to him, but the little one that we put on him is working better, I'm told today. That little cheapie, not that gigantic piece of art next to you, Peter. Thanks for talking. Good stuff.
All right, Colin.
All right. By the way, I saw this morning. I was talking about running backs. Saquon Barkley last night was in New York. There was a media event. He talked about, I'm the best running back in the NFL. And he certainly, Le'Veon Bell, Zeke, Saquon's been great. And he's a home run hitter. He's going to give you 2 pops a game. This is what I say about Zeke. There are so many running backs in this league. Next hour, I'll do this. I mean, I just jotted them down. Like running backs that came top of my head can really play. I got the 24. Now, I get to about 9 quarterbacks, and then I've got, doubts. Running backs, I got Leonard Fournette at, 22. People like Leonard Fournette. I don't know if he loves football. I think he likes it. Health issues. When you have a position in any job in America, and it refills constantly, it's not great for the employee at that position. Running back, it's just an easy position to fill. Car shopping's confusing, a lot of different terms, invoice, dealer price, list price. Go to TrueCar.com. Check out the fees and accessories before you get to the dealer.